can boil down our reporting process to 6, 8, 10 headline KPIs. That's still an awful lot of information to process each week. And what happens if a couple of those KPIs appear to conflict? So let's imagine that in order to improve one, we think it might negatively impact another. In that scenario, which would take precedence? This is why we introduce a North Star metric, a headline KPI that takes priority above everything else and provides alignment and clarity to the organisation. Now there's three things that a North Star should do. First of all, it needs to represent the value that the customers, that the users derive from the product or service in question. Secondly, it needs to be a good indicator of present and future revenue for the business. And thirdly, it needs to be aligned to the company vision and values. Now, a great example of this, and one that's often used, is Facebook. So Facebook's North Star is the total number of active monthly users. So let's see how that aligns to those three kind of key criteria. So first of all, it is a great indicator of the value that people are taking from the social network, because the more people that are on it, typically speaking, the better the experience for everybody. Social networks don't work very well if you don't have lots of people within them with kind of close active relationships. Secondly, it's a brilliant indicator of present and future revenue, of course. And thirdly, it's absolutely aligned to Facebook's vision, which is to bring the world closer together. Closely related to your North Star is what we call a magic moment, and this is the key driver of your North Star. So for Facebook, for example, their magic moment that they identified quite a few years ago now was the moment that a new user would add their 10th friend, because at that point, statistically, they were more likely than not to go on to become an active, regular user of Facebook. Now, these principles of North Stars and magic moments, they tend to be most frequently used by technology companies, particularly within Silicon Valley. But actually, particularly as companies of all sorts start to use data more and more, I think these are principles that are universally applicable to every company, even very traditional companies. So I'd encourage you to think about these questions and try and identify that North Star, that guiding light.